Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a trip leader at Camp Grey J.
And my name's Trent. I'm a program coordinator here at Camp Chief Hector. And Katie and I are really excited to talk to you guys about some key pieces of gear that we're going to be showing you that you need to have when you're here at camp this summer, okay? So the first one is the all-important backpack, okay? So this backpack, as you can see, is a bit bigger than your average backpack. This is the type of backpack that we use on our backpacking trips, on our overnight hiking trips. So it's very important that we get the right size of backpack. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the capacity and the actual physical size of the backpack itself. So as you can see here, I've got a 68-liter backpack. So this is a backpack that we recommend for our pioneer campers. Generally, we're looking for the range of about 70 to 80 liters for that section, but a 68-liter pack will likely do the trick. So if you're looking at the Mistaya section or the Cananasan section, you're going to be looking at a different capacity backpack, okay? So check out our packing list on the website, and there you're going to find some very detailed information about the capacity of the backpack that you're going to need for your trips, okay? It's very important that we have the right capacity because we want to make sure that we're fitting all the stuff that we need for our trips in the backpack without having a bunch of extra space that's going to make the backpack unbalanced and uncomfortable. So now I'm going to put the backpack on, and Katie is going to show us how we fit a backpack appropriately to make sure that we have the right backpack for us.
All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is adjust our hip belt. So the hip belt should be snug and it should sit right on the top of your pelvic bone. And as soon as you clip it on, you should feel a lot of the weight from your backpack distributed on your low back and your pelvis. That's how we know that the hip belt is doing its job. So the problem that we often see with younger campers in particular is that the hip belt isn't snug enough and it's too big. So you want to make sure that you get something that there is room for adjustability. So you don't want to get a hip belt that just fits. You want something that has some room to play around with. After that, we are going to put on our shoulder strap and adjust our shoulder strap and our sternum strap. So the shoulder strap should be flat against your body all the way down. Often what we see is some space between the shoulder and the shoulder strap itself. A little bit of space is okay, but too much, your shoulder strap isn't doing the job that it needs to do. So then after we've adjusted the shoulder strap, we want to look at the sternum strap. The sternum strap should be snug, but it shouldn't be too tight so that it feels constrictive. As soon as you do it up, it should balance the weight a little bit more between your shoulders of your backpack. And then the last thing that we're gonna look at is the load bearers. So the load bearers are things that you are going to be adjusting on the go continuously as you're going uphill, downhill, or on the flat. So again, with the same idea with the hip belt as with the load bearers, you wanna make sure that there's room to play around with that. As soon as you've tightened your load bearers, you should feel a little bit more of the weight come forward on your shoulders and a little bit of pull on your shoulders. So then that way, the weight is distributed evenly between your low back and your shoulders. It's not just on one or the other. Sometimes if you have done the hip belt up as much as you can and you have adjusted the shoulder straps as much as you can, there is still room between the shoulder strap and the shoulder. Typically that means that the backpack itself is too big. So the back of the backpack can sometimes be adjusted. Typically they're sold as small medium or medium large, but some backpacks are adjustable, such as this one, which Trent will show you here.
So as Katie said, a lot of backpacks can be adjusted. So if you're not finding that you have the right fit, so that maybe the hip belt isn't riding right on top of your pelvic bones, that's okay. So we can adjust that. So when we talk about the torso length of a backpack, we're talking about the length from the shoulder straps all the way down to the hip belt, okay? And that's the key piece of information when we're talking about the size of a backpack to make sure we have the appropriate size. So what you're gonna do is you can take the backpack off and you can look and see if it's adjustable. So as you can see here, my backpack is adjustable. I've got my backpack set in the middle range, so I can actually pull the chest straps up or I can push them down to increase or decrease the torso length. And that's gonna allow the hip belt to get to the appropriate length so that it's right on top of my hips, okay? If you're finding that you're not able to adjust the backpack to the right size, then that means you're likely gonna have to get a different size backpack. And you can ask your fitting specialist at your local retail store to help you out with that. So one thing to consider when you're fitting a backpack at the store is it's very important to actually put things inside of it so it's got weight in there. It's very hard to fit a backpack appropriately when it's empty. So what you can do is maybe ask somebody at the store to help you out. You can get some gear and things like that from the store and put them inside the backpack. That way you can fill it up and feel like what the backpack actually feels like when it actually has weight inside of it, okay? It's very important to get the right fit when it's actually full.
We hope that you have enjoyed this video and you found it educational, and you can now pick out a backpack that best suits your needs and will set you up for success on your trips.